Back at it here at Shamrock Fighting Championships as we get ready for our next bout. Montrel James taking on Garrett Wells.
Please welcome to the cage, Montrel James.
Up next, we have a catchweight fight between Garrett Wells and Montrel James. Garrett Wells comes to the fight tonight out of the Capital Punishment team. He boasts a 9-3 record and looks to add another notch in the win column. Excuse me, that is Montrel James coming out. Montrel comes to us from Modern Combat Systems in St. Louis, Missouri. This has been a long camp for James, who has spent the last 3 months preparing for this night in the Shamrock FC cage, and he is ready to go. Montrel will need to use his distance and looks to keep this fight standing. Montrel wants to make a move and try to finish this fight quickly. Although he looks to keep this fight standing, James does have submission of the nights over Shapen Jordan, and he is ready to go in this action tonight. This will be a big one for Montrel James to get back in the win column.
Yeah, Montrel James is a very well-rounded fighter. Even though he wants to keep the fight standing, he is very good on the ground. He just would prefer keeping a striking exchange.
Please welcome to the cage, Garrett Wells.
As I said, Garrett Wells comes to us tonight out of the Capital Punishment team. He has a big record at 9-3, looking to add another win. Now, he does like to throw big hands and has no issues if this fight goes to the ground at all. Garrett feels he is better than his opponent in all of these areas and looks to keep this fight going. He wants to push the pace as we go to our tail of the tape. Montrel James, 24 years old, 6'1", 159 pounds, out of St. Louis, Missouri. Garrett Wells, 23, 6'2", 162 pounds, out of Eldon, Missouri. This one will hit hard. This is going to be some big action as we get ready here to go into the cage. Garrett Wells getting greased up, getting some last-minute words from his corner. He is going to want to push this action, but you know, he says he is better everywhere, not just on the ground, but everywhere.
You know, Jeremy, it's a great feeling going into the cage when you are well prepared for the fight to go anywhere. You don't just want to be a stand-up fighter or a ground fighter anymore. You have to be a very well-rounded fighter nowadays.
Yes, you do. So let's set it up to Tony Biondo to get it started.
All right, St. Louis, this contest is scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds and a Shamrock Fighting Championship catch weight of 162 pounds. It's brought to you by Chuck's Boots and by Page Law. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, this young man comes to us by way of St. Louis, Missouri. He represents Modern Combat Systems. He has a mixed martial arts record of 9 victories, only 4 defeats. He stands 6'1" and weighing officially at 159 pounds. Introducing Montrel, Too Cold James. And now, fight fans, introducing his opponent across the cage, fighting out of the red corner. This young man comes to us by way of Eldon, Missouri. He represents Capital Punishment. He has a mixed martial arts record of 9 victories, only 3 defeats. He stands 6'2" and weighing officially at 162 pounds. Introducing Garrett Wells. Our referee for this contest is John Doover.
John Doover at the center of the cage to take care of all of the action. This one is going to go fast and furious. These boys are ready for some action.
Both guys, very good records, very experienced fighters. Both fighters very tall for the weight class.
Yeah, you definitely don't see fighters at this weight class 6'2", 6'3". I mean, that's a big, big man.
I'm curious to see if either has fought another fighter the same height as them.
Nice takedown by Garrett Wells.
Very
Immediately
nice
goes to
by
mounts.
Garrett Wells. Montrel James got a little too excited on that striking exchange, stepped in a little too far, gave Garrett Wells a very easy takedown. Garrett Wells might be looking for an armbar, but the arm that he was about to armbar would put him up against the cage. He didn't have the room to shoot that armbar.
Montrel James looking to put his back against the cage and try to begin to walk up. Unfortunately, he is giving Garrett Wells his back, who is now flattened him out.
Now Garrett Wells has flattened out Montrel James. He's going to start raining down punches, try and fish one of those arms onto the chin for the rear naked choke.
This is a terrible position for Montrel James to be in.
Montrel James is going to have to move, Jeremy. He cannot sit in this position.
taking some big shots to the body.
Garrett Wells doing a good job. Soften up the body, going to the head. Body, body, head.
Lots of control here by Garrett Wells. Basically, Montrel James has had no answer to any of the action so far from Garrett.
Montrel James has done a good job, though, not to get his neck taken. Keeping his chin down. Garrett Wells might have that arm under the chin now, though, but he's a little high.
He's working to adjust his position as we are just over 1 minute left here in round 1 of Shamrock FC Fuels.
Good job by Montrel James to defend that choke and end up in the guard of Garrett Wells, and then he's immediately reversed right back to mount. Beautiful sweep by Garrett Wells.
Garrett Wells definitely showing that ground game that he talked about in the beginning.
Absolutely. Montrel James wanted to keep this fight standing, and with good reason, because Garrett Wells is all over him on the ground, Jeremy.
We are under 40 seconds left here in round 1, with Montrel James basically showing nothing to stop the train that is Garrett Wells.
Garrett Wells flattens him out again, just throwing punches from the back. Landing, these shots hurt, Jeremy. They don't look like a whole lot, but when you're not defending, like getting clean shots laying on you, it adds up. He's been hit a lot of times in this back position.
Yeah, this has definitely got to be sore on the body. He is now starting to take shots to the side of the head. This is a terrible position for Montrel James as we have 10 seconds
and
left.
And a beautiful attempt at an armbar with 10 seconds left.
Garrett Wells pulling, and it is a stop in the action. Round 1 completed. What a match for round 1.
Great round. Very nice move by Garrett Wells to shoot for that armbar with 10 seconds left. The reason he waited so long, Jeremy, was because he didn't want to lose position with a lot of time left on the round. So if that armbar didn't go, he would have lost position, ended up on his back. So that's why he waited until 10 seconds left. I think if he would have had a little more time, he could have finished it, but he was playing it safe. He's controlling this fight on the ground, so he didn't want to take any unneeded risks.
So here we go to the replay as we see some big shots landed as Garrett Wells is trying to soften him up. Montrel James, again, not showing much action here from the bottom. He is in a bad position as we look at this.
Jeremy, Montrel, if I'm in the corner of Montrel James, I'm going to tell him to keep his distance on his striking. He cannot step in with his punches because that's going to give Garrett Wells another very easy takedown. And we saw how that worked out for Montrel James in the first round.
That we did. Now let's get back to it here as round 2, the action has started.
Garrett Wells coming out with his hands high, but unfortunately his chin is high also, Jeremy, which is a bad move to do in an MMA fight. You get hit on that chin, that's the knockout button. Montrel James doing a much better job this round, Jeremy, of not overcommitting on his punches, keeping his distance, staying long, making Garrett Wells come to him a bit.
Oh, big shots by both
exchange.
of them.
Garrett Wells laying a good jab, but Montrel James laying a huge 1-2.
Montrel James now looking to stuff those takedowns and get one of his own.
Looking for a takedown of his own, but I think that is a bad idea, Jeremy.
Yes, it is.
Just as I say, he gets both guys rolling each other over. Very nice exchange.
Great display of grappling so far here in round 2, with showing Montrel James coming up into Garrett Wells' guard and starting to land some big shots, now doing some damage of his own.
Montrel James is going to want to posture up a little bit. He doesn't want to stay low in the guard of Garrett Wells. Garrett Wells can throw up submissions while he keeps that head of Montrel James low. Montrel wants to posture up, push his head to the sky. That way he can get more power on his punches, keeps him out of trouble for the submissions.
Yeah, Garrett Wells has definitely shown his ground game here. He has a very active guard, but he is now taking some big shots.
James. Excellent back and forth match this has been. Montrel trying to pin the arm of Garrett Wells with his knee.
Definitely big action so far. If this stays this way and we go to a round 3, I would have it going basically each taking a round.
Absolutely. We still have a lot of time left in this round, though, Jeremy. Montrel James is doing a good job. He's not postured up at the moment, but because he has Garrett Wells' head pinned against the cage, Garrett Wells doesn't have any room to throw up any submissions. So Montrel James is pretty safe in this position.
And we are just under 1 minute left here in round 2. What a turnaround by Garrett Wells.
Beautiful hip bump by Garrett Wells, and turns into taking Montrel James's back. That's why we said Montrel James didn't want to be on the ground with Garrett Wells.
Again, flatting him out, pushing hard down.
We're coming up on about 30 seconds left in the round, Jeremy, which I think Montrel James controlled. I think Garrett Wells needs to go for that armbar right now, try and get the finish. Huge hammer fist from Garrett Wells.
Those have to hurt as they land straight to the side of the head.
Garrett Wells, I think he's stepping up to look for that armbar again. Nope, went back to the rear naked choke.
10 seconds remaining here in round 2. What a big action-packed round. Great round 2 for Montrel James. Kevin, how do you score it?
You know, Jeremy, that was a very close round. I think Montrel James controlled the majority of the round, but Garrett Wells closed out the round well. He did a lot of damage closing out the round. I'm going to give it to Montrel James, but I wouldn't be surprised to see the judges go either way with that round. Very close round.
Yeah, we definitely never know what the judges are going to see. Now, if you're in the corner of Garrett Wells, what are you telling your fighter?
Now you got to be careful for the takedown, because Montrel James did a good job for most of the round on top. You know, whichever fighter has been on top has controlled the round. Garrett Wells, if he does end up on his back, needs to get busy with his submissions right away and his sweeps right away.
Again, we see some big shots here from the replay. A lot of hands thrown in that round.
I think Garrett Wells is going to look for a takedown early and often this round, Jeremy. I think that's going to be his key to victory.
As we get ready here for the third and final round, this bout has been some great back and forth action. John Duver calls him to action. That's no touch of the gloves from Montrel James. He is looking for some action here.
He's ready to fight, Jeremy. He's serious. He wants to win this fight. He thinks this one round apiece, wants to win this round and get a big win.
He definitely needs to push the pace and control the cage and stop those takedowns.
Garrett Wells is leaning his head to his right side of his body, which makes it very easy for Montrel James to land a big right hand when he does that.
I'm also concerned with the way that Garrett Wells keeps his chin high. He's leaving that open for that big right hand.
You know, one of the first things you're taught when you start kickboxing and boxing, Jeremy, is chin down, eyes up. You glue that chin to your chest. That's the best way to protect it. Protect it with your shoulders, protect it with your hands. Oh, and Garrett Wells shoots him for a takedown, eats a right hand on his way, and the momentum of Montrel James puts him in the mounted position. James is going to push down on the head of Wells and start landing some huge shots.
Nice move, though, here by Garrett. Oh, my goodness, look at the move.
Very crafty by Garrett Wells to use the cage to get in a better position and get the sweep. Beautiful. Beautiful use of the cage by Garrett Wells.
Garrett Wells looking for a crucifix here now. He just needs to pin those arms back as he moves away. Now he's back inside control.
Montrel James is going to want to watch that right arm of his, as Garrett Wells could turn that into an arm triangle. Or now he looks like he's
for
fishing
straight
for,
armbar.
for Americana. This is a good position for Garrett Wells. He's winning this fight here in side control. He can do a lot of damage with right hands and hammer fists. Montrel James is going to need to move if he wants to win this fight.
Montrel James is definitely looking for some action. They're trying to pull it off the cage. Again, gives up his back to Garrett Wells.
He's only got one hook in, and he's very high. Montrel James needs to get the butt up. And now that second hook is in. Very
1 minute remaining here in round 3. What an action-packed fight.
This has been a back and forth fight, Jeremy. Very nice jiu-jitsu from Garrett Wells. Very nice aggression and strength by Montrel James.
Montrel James looks like he is starting to be tiring out a bit. He's definitely reaching for the hands, trying to hold on, but it seems to be a definitely, Garrett Wells seems to more in the gas tank at the moment.
Absolutely.
30 seconds left here in round 1.
Garrett Wells looking for that rear naked choke. He might have it under the chin. Montrel James doing a good job. He's trying to control the top arm of Garrett Wells. You cannot finish that choke with one arm, Jeremy.
That you cannot. Great submission defense there from Montrel James with 10 seconds remaining
Absolutely.
in the fight.
Jeremy, we've seen a lot of great jiu-jitsu from Garrett Wells and a lot of great jiu-jitsu defense from Montrel James. James trying to end in a fury of huge punches.
What a fight, ladies and gentlemen.
Great fight. Great way to end the fight with huge right hands coming from Montrel James.
This is a tough fight to call. A lot of back and forth action. Was that flurry at the end enough for Montrel James? We'll just have to wait for the judges to see. As we go to the instant replay, we see Montrel here in full mount, beginning to land big shots.
Both guys had great moments in that round. Montrel James had mount. And a great job by Garrett Wells to escape the mount. A funky way, using the cage, bending himself over backwards, but very nice way. I have it 2 rounds to 1 for Garrett Wells. It could be 30-27 for Garrett Wells. Could be 29-28 for Montrel James. We don't know.
Shamrock FC booth over there. Go see my friend Michelle. We got some of the coolest gear in the mixed martial arts industry. Also check them out. We're giving away $5,000 in memberships tonight. So go over there and take advantage. Also, we have schedules and giveaways. Once again, it's the Shamrock.
Definitely a serious fight here as we get ready to go to the judges' scorecards for our decision.
Like I said, Jeremy, could go either way.
Definitely it could. So let's throw it up to the cage to Tony Biondo for our results.
Fight fans, we go to the judges' scorecard for the decision. One judge scored it 29-28. Judge B scored it 29-28. And Judge C scored it 30-27. We have a unanimous decision for Garrett Wells.
Garrett Wells adds yet another win to his record. What a fight. A lot of action in this one. That is definitely what we're all about here at Shamrock FC. Big action, big fights. Is it how you saw it, Kevin?
Exactly how I saw it. I thought it could go 29-28 either way or 30-27 Garrett Wells. Very well-matched fight by Shamrock FC tonight.
Definitely it is, as we are about to bring you more action, but first, we are going to send it off for a quick break.